Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are learning about the 3D type of questions for the NATA and JEE exam 2021. We will look into around 4 to 5 commonly asked questions and 10 questions for you to solve at the end of the video. So let's start with the first question. Make an interesting three-dimensional stable composition using 2 cubes, 2 cylinders, 2 pyramids and 1 sphere in the space provided. Also show the effect of light. So here we start with composing the objects mentioned. Starting with the pyramid at the center, try to achieve a stable composition. At the start, make sure you draw the objects really lightly so there is scope of correction. In the space provided, make sure you don't draw the objects too small or too big for the space. So here we are done with the first step, that is composition. Next, moving forward to the second step, that is shading. So these are different ways to shade an object, that is, it can be a crisscross manner or straight lines, or it can be horizontal lines or curved lines. So in this specific question, we will start with crisscross lines. In this specific drawing, let's imagine a light of source from the left hand side, and hence the right hand parts of the objects are darker compared to the left hand side, as there is direct light hitting on that surface. Moving on to the next step, that is shadow. So once we are done with the shading part, we come to the shadow end of the objects. So darkening the edge of the surface where the object and the ground meets is the darkest. Also showing a shadow on the backdrop of the object so the object stands out. The shadow is always more intense and darker than the shading part of the object, so make sure that you have a darker shadow. Also, another important thing in object drawing is you don't have to outline the objects darker or they will not look as real. Make sure you do the shadows in layers and not start with darker strokes at the start. Start it gradually with lighter shadows and then making the image and the shadows more intense. So this is a basic example for 3D type of questions for NATA and JEE. Further, let's look into some questions similar to this question. So here is another example where there are 4 composition of the same question, and we will look into the steps of this specific question. That is, first you make a stable composition, then you start with the shading part, that is the step 2, and the step 3 is draw the shadows, imagining a light source. Moving on to the third question, using 2 wooden stools create a composition showing light and shadow. So here is a solved image. Moving on to the next question, that is, on a table there are books, a pen stand, a bowl and an apple. Draw with shading, imagine the light source from the left hand side. So this is the final result. So these are some more questions with man-made artificial objects and God-made objects, that is fruits, vegetables, etc. So here are some of the questions you can solve to practice 3D type of questions. I hope this video was helpful. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.